Grace and peace. This is Coach Martin Wilson, and I want to invite you to join me now for the Martin Wilson Podcast. In this podcast, I'm not just going to teach you leadership, but I'm going to teach you and give you tips that will help you to lead your best life. So join me now in a podcast already in progress. Grace and peace. Grace and peace. This is Coach Martin Wilson. Listen, I want to thank you guys for being with me today. Thank you so much. I realize that it is truly an honor and a privilege for me to be able to bring these podcasts to you. And I don't take it for granted that you take time out of your schedule to be with me on these podcasts. So listen, today I want to deal with a subject I've actually been holding back on this one. I've had it for probably the last 5 or 6 days, and I've been piddling at it and putting a little bit more to it every day. And the name of this particular podcast is Reasons People End Up in Bad Relationships. I want to give you 3 reasons that people end up in bad relationships. And the first one that I came up with was not feeling worthy. Not feeling worthy. And when we talk about not feeling worthy, that is what I call a form of vibrational misalignment. In other words, you're not in sync with the other person because you're not feeling worthy. But yet, at the same time, that unworthiness can be an attractor factor, would actually pull 2 people that are battling with the same thing together. When you don't feel good about yourself, there's no way that you can attract into your reality a person that is not going to be out of alignment. Now, on the spiritual side of that, the person may seem to be the exact person that you should be in a relationship. But the spiritual side of that relationship is that many people don't understand is that we don't get what we want when it comes down to relationships. We attract to ourselves what we are. What we are. So now if I battle with low self-esteem, it's very likely that I'm going to find myself attracted to that kind of person. Why? Because it goes into what I call the comfort factor or the comfort mechanism. I feel more comfortable with someone who is thinking and viewing the world from the same logic of low self-esteem that I deal with. So the number 1 is not feeling worthy. Number 2 is not clear about what you really want in a relationship. You've got to know what it is that you really, really want out of a relationship. Now, most people know exactly what they do not want, and they keep getting it. I need you to get that. Most people know exactly what they do not want, and they keep getting it because we're attracted to things that we do not want because we give it all of our attention. You ask a person, what is it that you want? Now, I don't know what I want, but I can tell you I don't want this. So they keep attracting what they do not want. Now, if what you don't like in a person has all your focus, your energy, and your attention, then you've got to get clear. You haven't gotten clear on what it is that you want. And you unknowingly are going to begin to attract more of what you do not want into your reality. I know that may not make sense, but if all the things that you dislike about a person are the things that have your focus, then those are going to be the things that are going to be ending up in the character of the individual that you're going to end up attracted to. So you've got to have clarity. Clarity is a must when it comes to relationship. Now, of course, you have to know what you're not willing to tolerate. I'm not saying you to let your standards down. You got to know what you will not tolerate, but you can't allow that to consume your attention. Now, the number one reason that most people end up in bad relationships or stay in relationship is relationship misalignment. Now, this is sometimes called rebounding. Relationship misalignment is when a person gets out of a relationship that they're unhappy with, then enters another one with the idea of escaping the pleasure of the first one. Let me say that again. They get out of a relationship because they're unhappy. and they enter into another relationship with the idea of escaping something unpleasant. Now, when a person does this, the new relationship, the entirety of that relationship is based more on what they don't want than what they do want. And that is called relationship misalignment. So we've got to be careful of these things. We got to be aware of these things so that we can keep in mind. You've got to become what you desire. What you desire to be, that's what you got to become. If you want to attract better into your life, you've got to do things to make yourself better. We often talk about finding our soulmate. Well, I want to introduce a new idea that your soulmate is you. Falling in love with you, developing you, building your self-esteem, building self-awareness of yourself, falling in love with you first so that you become attractive to the kind of person that you desire. Listen, this is Coach Martin Wilson. I hope that you've enjoyed this little podcast. Continue to follow me. Please subscribe to our podcast. You can catch us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and also on Spreaker. Also, remind you to catch us every Thursday night at 8:00 p.m. on Refocus Life Leadership. That is my Facebook Live teaching that I do. So listen, please share this podcast. Please share it with somebody. Please join us on Thursday night. Until then, Coach Martin Wilson, God bless.